winner of this series will move on to represent California USA Hockey High School Division II Nationals in Omaha, Nebraska. At this time, I'd like to ask everyone to please rise and remove your hats for the national anthem.
All right, game 2 of this best of 3 series. Capo winning last night in the last 13 seconds. See if they can pull another win off here today. And the series will be over, and the Capo Coyotes would move on to compete for the national championship in high school Division II hockey. If Damien wins, there will be game 3 tomorrow. And puck drop. Baker activates into the zone on the forecheck pressure, along with McCarr. Klutchkov comes back into the neutral zone. Damien ends up with it on the far side. They shove it through the neutral zone. Puck continues on, out back into the neutral zone. Damien pulls it back for the regroup. They elevate it up. Continue on into the Capo zone. Battling through some pressure by Doyle. So Damien, the puck comes off the wall into the slot, and the guy got it, picked it up, and roofed it over the shoulder. Looks like Zenke is in net. And the first shot, Damien's up 1-0. We got Pratt, Brunel, and Bradford out there. Damien with it. Brunel works back down the wall to it. Comes up. Bradford picks it up. He gets pushed down from behind. Stays with it. Gets it up to Brunel. Brunel with the drive wide of the net. Pushed back into the corner. Damien driving the puck up the wall, peels off the wall. They peel it back to the back end wall. Continue on in the near side corner. Peeled back to Coughlin. Coughlin with the drive, big rebound, cleared out of harm's way. McGilligan punches it into the corner, hops over Bradford's stick. Brunel ends up with it. Bradford gets it out to the side, hopped over Brunel's stick. Coughlin holds his own, drives it back, backhand pass to the back door, broken up, comes back out into the slot, and Pratt had another point-blank shot. And Coyotes buzzing now, trying to get the puck up and out, and Damien ends up icing the puck on that offensive zone pressure. Roussel steps in. He's got Kerrigan. Puck driven in from Osola. Deflected off a pad and moved up and out. Pushed into the zone here. Damien with it on the pressure in the corner. Comes back to their D. They drive it wide of the net. Padded into the corner by Zanke. Puck trickles out over to Phillips. Phillips backhands up the wall. That's cut off by Damien. Pushed back into the corner. Scott jumps on it. Held in. Nope. Picked up by Kerrigan. He moves up to Osola. And Osola didn't expect it, so came out, and Damien's able to clear it up and out. Damien with it back on the regroup. Kerrigan on the forecheck pressure. Damien's able to get it out into the neutral zone. Osola battling for it. Damien stays with it. On the entry, down the wall, into the corner. Scott continues on with him. Centering attempt. Gets through into the high slot. Comes out into the neutral zone. Osola punches it back into Damien's zone. Capo goes for the line change. Damien with the stretch pass. Battle for it on the red line. Gaucher with it. Comes away with it. Enters the zone. Down the wall. Into the corner. Sending back door pass to Makar. Klutchkov had a wide open gaping net. Gaucher trickles down the left wing. Puts it back onto the back door for Klutchkov. And the game's tied. Klutchkov stepping in with the Gaucher boys. Comes back to, I don't know who that was. Gaucher drives it up in the zone. Hams activates. Klutchkov missed dump it in. Comes all the way back out to Coughlin. Coughlin peels it back to Phillips. Phillips moves it up the wall. Met there with some pressure from Damien. Pushed it back into the Capo zone. Phillips elevates it up the wall. Back and forth action back into the Capo zone. Gaucher fanned on the cross ice, Klutchkov fanned on the cross ice attempt. Gets it over to Gaucher. Gaucher got met with some pressure on the entry. Pushed back out into the neutral zone. Now it's dumped back in. Capo goes for the line change. Damien looking for the breakout. They move it up the wall, chip it out into the neutral zone. They find a guy on the entry, centered it, broken up. Culver picks it up. Baker centers it back over to Culver. Comes off of his stick. Stenari activates on the forecheck pressure. Baker waits for the touch-up. He drives it over the far side wall. Culver picks it up, drives it up to Stenari. He chips it into the zone. Baker and Stenari activate on the forecheck pressure. Baker comes away with the puck. Drops it back for Stenari. Stenari centers it out front. Another drive. Loose puck. Still loose. No whistle. And now here comes the whistle. Stenari and Baker battling for it. Covered up by the Damien goaltender. Stenari steps in for the faceoff. He pushes it to the wall. Damien picks it up, drives it over the near side wall. Scott's there on the half wall with some pressure. Drives it down low into the corner. Culver centering attempt, no one there. Damien picks it up. Baker comes in with some pressure on the puck carrier. Puck comes back into the wall, or into the zone. Damien gains the red line, drives it back into the zone. They jump on the dump in, pick it up on the half wall. Broken up by Stenari. Scott picks it up, elevates it up to Brunel. Brunel chips it into the zone. Bradford activates on the forecheck pressure. Battle in the corner, just out of Brunel's reach. Phillips drives it in, pad save, or kicked out all the way into the neutral zone. McElligott turns around, fires it back up the wall. Puck on the backside wall. Damien drives it up the far side wall and out of the zone. Picked up on the red line by Phillips, driven back into the Damien zone. Damien with it on the breakout. They get it out in the neutral zone. Coughlin drives it right back up the wall. Dump back in. Bradford activates on the forecheck pressure. Puck wrapped around the near side wall, picked up and chipped out. Held in though, actually. Bradford with it in the slot, chopped off of his stick and elevated up it all the way down for the icing call. So 11:18 left in the first period. 1-1 hockey game. Face-off coming to the left of the Damien goaltender. Gaucher, or Bussell, Kerrigan, and Osola out there. Puck stuck on the face-off dot. Moved back to Green. Green punches it in the corner. Damien jumps on the loose puck. Osola activates on the forecheck pressure, and that's cleared all the way up and out and all the way down for another icing call. Gaucher, boys, and Klutchkov. Gaucher with the push. Damien jumps on a loose puck, able to skate it up and out. McElligott nicely breaks that up on the entry. Damien for the regroup. They drive it right back in. Picked up, moved out to the neutral zone, dumped into the Damien end. They pick it up at their bench area, drive it right back in. Up the wall, Gaucher with some pressure on the half wall. Pulls it off into the slot. Turnaround shot, save. Klutchkov picks it up on the half wall, spins away from pressure, gets some open ice. Slot, shot, save, kicked into the corner. Another drop pass, another big blast and a big save. Gaucher looking for the rebound. No loose puck, sucked up into the midsection. Stenari, Baker, and Culver out there. Stenari steps in, comes back to Scott. Scott winds up, shot, deflected into the corner, moved up the wall, and Stenari pulls it back into the neutral zone. Capo for the regroup. Stenari on the re-entry, comes down, splits the D, into the corner, gets it back to Baker, but into his skate. Baker puts it back into the slot and covered up for the whistle. Baker picks it up, shot, wide of the net, off the back wall and up the wall and out of the zone. Phillips chops it down, moves it over for the chip in. Stenari with speed, gets it out into the slot, behind Baker. Puck continues on, up and out of the zone. Damien with it, trying to get around Phillips, moved up and out. Baker picks it up on the far side wall, absorbs one chop, comes in, shot, high over the net off the back wall. Damien picks up the puck, drives it around the far side wall, peeled off the wall, and it's skated out of the zone. Baker got cross-checked as he's going off the bench, up the ice. That was quite funny. A little chippiness going on here. Damien with it in the far side corner wall, chipped up and out. Picked up by Capo, moved up, punched in by Brunel, into the corner. Bradford on the forecheck pressure, comes out into the slot area, cleared out by Damien, and skated out of the zone. Driven up. That's going to be an icing on Capo. Damien with the loose puck. They peel it back. Capo's able to chip it up and out. Kerrigan, that was offsides, it looked like. Osala. Centering attempt broken up by Damien. And it ends up in the back of the net. Somehow, I don't know how that happened. Thought they had the initial save. So we'll see who gets the goal. We got Gaucher out there with, or Bussell out there with Kerrigan. And Osola continues on after they score that. Phillips jumps on it and drives it into the Damien zone. I missed that. Who got it? I think 66 Coughlin got it. Sola drives it up into the neutral zone. Damien takes over there. They move it over to the near side wall here. Chipped it up on the entry. Dumps it in the zone. They get to the puck first in the corner. Centering tip on the back door. Wow, what a save by Zanke. Cross ice pass, back door wide open. And Zanke comes over with the save. Damien buzzing. They get it down into the corner. They continue on into the far side corner, gets it up in the high slot, shot wide of the net, and Zanke reaches out and puts a glove over it. What a save by Zanke. Klutchkov peels it back, drives it over to the far side wall, elevated up and out by Capo. And Klutchkov just missed the puck, got it poke checked away from him right when he was getting to it. Puck comes out, Scott drives it back in. Damien pushes it right back out. Klutchkov strips it at the blue line, comes in, shot wide of the net, off the back wall. Picked up by Gaucher. Gaucher continues on into the far side corner, cuts off the wall. Drives it back into the corner. Up top to McElligott. He goes down to the half wall. Klutchkov cuts into the slot. Drives it back into the corner. Up to McElligott for the drive. Rebound. Loose puck. And now it's covered up. Sonari steps in. Peels it back to Baker. Baker goes cross ice to Phillips. Phillips walks the blue line, drives it into the corner. Sonari down there. Puck comes up the wall to Damien. They're able to skate it up and out. Green drives it right back up the wall. Baker peels it off, but just out of his reach on the entry. Gets knocked off, back into the neutral zone. Phillips steps into the puck carrier. Sonari's got it. He gets it back to Phillips. Phillips moves it over to Baker. Baker pulls up on the half wall, absorbs some pressure. Puck comes loose. Stenari with it in the slot. He's got two guys to deal with. Shot comes in. Baker comes in with a nice little redirection, but a big save by the Damien goaltender. Stenari comes in with pressure on the puck carrier. Puck ends up all the way down into the Capo zone. Damien changing on the fly. Baker's got it on the entry, but an offside entry. Some movement on the blue line. Pratt steps in. Pratt drives it in the zone. Brunel activates on the forecheck pressure. Damien able to elevate it up and out. McGilligan drives it right back up the wall. Back and forth, back to McGilligan. He peels back into the corner. And he gives it away for the point-blank shot. And I don't know if it was a save or it was wide. Regardless. That was dangerous. Pratt steps in. Puck peeled back. Brunel there with some pressure. Comes back to him on the red line. Chopped off of his stick. Coyotes up the wall. Hops over Brunel's stick. D-to-D pass from Damien. Chip back up. Back and forth action through the neutral zone. Bradford looking for it. He lets it go on. Brunel activates in the corner. Centering attempt. Misconnection. Gives it over to Bradford. Bradford punches it in the corner. Shot from the side. Pushed back to the back wall. And Damien with the elevation up and held in by Brunel. His dumping comes off the stick and into the bench. We got Bucell steps in there with Kerrigan and Osola. Puck cleared up the wall. McGilligan punches it back down. Now it comes up and out. McGilligan fanned on it. Comes back to Kerrigan. He's able to push it up the wall. Damien pushes it back into Capo's zone. Bucell drives it up to Osola. Osola sidesteps some pressure. Stays with it. Gives it back to Bucell, just out of his reach. Damien's able to skate it up and out of the zone. They push it into the Capo zone. McGilligan drives it up the wall to Kerrigan. Kerrigan gets hit with some pressure. Battle in the corner. Damien comes off the wall with it. Shot blocked by Kerrigan. All the way out into the Damien zone. They pick it up, drive it right back in through the neutral zone. At the red line, they drive it into the Capo zone. Green goes back to pick it up. Looking to catch Damien on a line change. They get some fresh skaters out. Comes in, top circle, shot, score! So off the bench, they get a fresh skater, and he comes out and skates into the top circle and finds the top opening on Zenke and ties the game 2-2. It looks like the referee's giving a warning for something. Klitschkoff drives it back up the wall. Has the Gaucher boys out there with him. Picked up by Phillips. Phillips peels it back behind Zenke. Moves up the wall. Got to fix this zoom. Gaucher, Klitschkoff tries to feed Gaucher on the entry, just out of his reach. Puck moves up the near side wall. Held in by the Coyotes. Gaucher activates in the corner. Damien peels it back to the near side corner. Looking for the outlet. They elevate it up and out. That's cut off by Phillips. He gains the red line, drives it in. Coyotes got a touch up. O'Shea on the forecheck pressure. Coyotes hold the zone. Look to the slot, picked up and skated out by Damien. Damien tried to cut off the wall. That's broken up, moved up to Stenari. Stenari's got Gaucher with him. Stenari down the wall, into the corner. Shot high and over the net. Comes up and out of the zone. Coughlin has the red line, drives it right back in. Culver activates on the forecheck pressure. Baker comes in, picks up the puck in the neutral zone, gets it over to Stenari. Stenari reactivates in the zone, down the wing, peels up away from pressure, drives it back to Coughlin. Coughlin winds up, drives wide of the net. Stenari picks it up on the half wall, moves it up, but Damien's there to intercept that. Coyotes drive it right back into the Damien zone. Back into the neutral zone. They have the red line. Zone entry, down the wall, drop pass. Picked up by McElligott. He drives up to Baker, feeds it up to Brunel. Brunel in and gets poke checked off of his stick. Gives it to Baker. Baker on the reactivation and the entry. Pulls up. Centering attempt. Shot. Save. Brunel steps in with Bradford. Pushed it into the corner. Moved up. Phillips holds the line. He pushes it back into the corner. Coyotes met with some pressure. Damien's got numbers in the corner. Puck trickles out. Damien ends up with it. Elevated up but not out. Held in by the Coyotes. Phillips on the attempt to hold it in, and icing is the result. Pratt steps in with Bradford. Brunel on the far side. Bradford battling for it on the back wall, comes away with it, sends it out into the front. Nice little redirection by Pratt, but just wide of the net. McElligott punches it back down low to Bradford. Bradford with it in the corner. Moves it right back up to McElligott, off the wall, back to the half wall. Bradford with it. He cycles it back down. Right back out to Bradford with a backhanded shot. And we have a penalty being called. Brunel going to the box for the cross check. So Damien will have the first power play opportunity of the game. Klutchkov and Stenari out there on the first part of this penalty kill. Damien with it through the neutral zone. They have the red line, zone entry on the wall. They leave it there on the half wall. Stenari looking for it. Damien continues on behind the net. Centering attempt and cleared up and out. One second left in the period. And after one, we have a 2-2 hockey game. Second period coming up next. All right, second period action. Damien with the power play here at the first part of it. Klutchkov comes away with it. Comes in, shot high over the net off the back wall. And that's given up. Coyotes with it again. Klutchkov with it. He drives it in the far side corner. Stenari's going to activate on the forecheck pressure. Klutchkov's going to finish up on the wall. Can't really read the penalty clock time, so I don't know how much time's left on that. Damien drives it in deep into the corner. They get things set up on the power play. Move it back to the back wall, right back up to the half wall. Cross ice pass, top circle, high slot area, left circle. Damien cycles it into the corner. They have it on the back wall. They move it into the slot. Wow, he tried to pick the short side just over the net and off the back wall and out of the zone. Damien on the reactivation on the entry. They continue on the back wall. Move it back to the D. Cross ice pass. They shot. Blocked. Doesn't make its way in. Another shot. Wide of the net off the back wall. Picked up another shot. Blocked. Doesn't make its way in again. Loose puck. And cleared up and out. Baker on the forecheck pressure. He's going to get over to the corner. He comes away with the puck. Centers it. Gets it out to Gaucher. That gets knocked off of his stick, though. Comes in. Big blast off the bench from somebody. Brunel. Wide of the net, though. Puck continues on. Looks like the penalty's over. Coyotes trying to catch the Damien on a line change, but they get back into position. Baker battling for it on the blue line. They're calling. I don't know what's going on. Something happened. So Capo's going to get a power play opportunity now. I don't know what happened. I didn't catch that one. Got Stenari, Klutchkov, and Kerrigan up front on the first part of this. Coughlin and Phillips on the back end. Stenari looking for it on the wing. Oh, they got a too many men call. So Damien drives it all the way down, in on Zanke. He pushes it back up to Phillips. Phillips gets things set up. Coyotes' first power play opportunity, hops over the intended receiver's stick. Phillips in the corner, comes away with it. Gets it going to Klutchkov. Klutchkov down the wall, into the corner, behind the net. Back up top. Back down to Klutchkov, and that's held in by McGilligan. He punches it into the corner. Drop pass back into the corner. Stenari with it on the half wall. Comes off. Shot into the slot. Cleared up and out. Coughlin holds it in. He walks down, drives it into the corner. Kerrigan with the shot and a glove save. We got Gaucher, Bradford, and Baker out on the second part of this. Scott and McGilligan on the back end. Gaucher steps in for the faceoff. Cleared up and out. All the way down. Zanke out to play it. He moves it up to McGilligan. Coyotes get things set up. Cross-ice feed over to Gaucher. Gaucher across the red line. Zone entry down the wall, into the corner, knifed off of his stick. Held in by McGilligan. He punches it back down the wall to Bradford with the drive. And it bounces off the back of the goaltender and in the net. He tried to get it out to Baker on the back door, but it bounced off the goaltender and it ended up in the back of the net, and they score on their power play 3-2 at the 13:34 mark of the second period. So the Coyotes get a bounce. This line's going to continue on. Gaucher stays it back, gets it back to Scott. Scott drives it back up the wall. Damien on the entry, down the wall, shot, glove save. An offensive zone faceoff for Damien coming up. Crochet shot blocked. Bradford's feet held in by Damien. Another shot gets broken up. Picked up, moved up to Baker. Baker with it down the wall, cutting off the wall. Comes in, comes up, shot. Tried to go far side post. Just over the net. Comes all the way out into the neutral zone, and the Coyotes got a touch up and an offside entry. Looks like is the call. Pratt steps in. He peels it back. McGilligan moves it up to Brunel. Brunel drives it into the zone. Pratt activates on the forecheck pressure. Damien's able to get it up to the winger and skate it out of the zone. May move it through. Zone entry down the wall. Cross-ice feed into the slot. Stick lift held in by Damien. Damien walks off the wall into the high slot circle. Shot, save, and covered up. No rebound. Pratt's going to step back in. He's got Coughlin out there. Damien with it. They drive it into the zone, into the corner. Centering attempt. Nobody there. Culver picks it up. He elevates it up and out. Coyotes with zone entry, and a shot comes in, and a glove cover up. Got Bussell out there with Osola and Kerrigan. Bussell gets it. Osola drives it wide of the net. Battle for it in the corner here. 3 Damien skaters, 2 Coyotes. See who comes with. Kerrigan comes away with. Bussell comes away with it, then gets it knocked off of his stick. Damien on the entry. That looked like offsides, but play continues on. Puck moved up the wall. Damien's got numbers on the wall to hold the zone. Kerrigan with it. He gets hit with some pressure, gets it back to Green. Green has it. He drives up the wall and chipped up and out of the zone. Back through the neutral zone. Bussell comes in with some pressure on the puck carrier. Damien with it on the in the neutral zone. They drive it in, deflected, so no icing. Green picks it up, drives it up the wall, and it's going to continue on out of the zone. So Damien on the regroup. They chip it up the wall and in the zone again. Phillips back to pick it up. He drives it up. That's cut off by Damien on the back wall. Battle for it. See who comes away with it. Phillips there. Bussell there. Kerrigan comes in, picks up the loose puck, skates it up and out. Gets it up to Osola. Osola with the dump in and the change. And the cover up. So we got Gaucher, Klutchkov, and Stenari out there. Phillips and McGilligan on the back end. Klutchkov with the push and pull to the back door, trying to hit Stenari. Stenari unable to get a stick on it. Driven back in by the Coyotes. They got to touch up. They do so. Reactivate on the forecheck pressure. Damien decides to go out the other wall. Held in by Capo. Again by Klutchkov, I believe. Stenari circles back to the puck. Comes down, shot over the net off the back wall. Gaucher looking for the hold in. Klutchkov comes in with some pressure. And it's cleared up and out. Damien drives it into Capo's zone. McGilligan wraps it around the near side wall here. Punch back in. Klutchkov finds Stenari on the far side wall. He cuts into the corner behind the net. And puck comes out, comes to McGilligan. He drives it in, and it's in. McGilligan comes in, and I don't know if the rebound ended up over on Baker's stick. We'll have to see what happened there. McGilligan drives it in, bouncing puck, and then it ends up in the back of the net. I think it ended up on Baker's stick with the wide open net on the far side. Coyotes have a 4-2 lead. We'll have to listen to the announcement. Yeah. So Luke from McGilligan, Baker from McGilligan. Baker's got the puck on the far side. He gets a hit up high, drives the puck in the zone. Battle for it in the corner. Baker's with it in the corner. He's got pressure on him. Puck trickles up the wall and held in by the Coyotes. Baker drives it over in the near side corner. And Damien able to push it up. Baker cuts that exit off, pushes it back in the zone, goes down the wall. And hopefully he didn't break his stick again. Coyotes buzzing. They get it over to Baker. Baker comes out, shot, side of the net. Push back to the back wall and up the near side wall here. Phillips with it in the high slot. Shot, glove save. .9:11 left in the second period. Coyotes up 4-2. Puck pushed into the corner. Culver activates. Pratt there to help him out. Puck comes back to Scott. Scott walks off the wall. Shot. Deflected just wide of the net. Puck battle in the near side corner. Pratt comes in, drives it through the crease area, high in the slot. Damien's able to elevate it up and out. Scott chops it down there on the entry, moves it right back to Pratt. Pratt with it, battle in front of the Coyotes bench. Damien comes away with it. Coyotes elevated up and in, and that's going to be icing. .8:35 left in the second period. Klutchkov steps in. Puck battle on the faceoff dot. Ends up on the back wall. Damien with it on their stick. They circle away from pressure. McGilligan comes in with some body contact. Push into the corner. Up high, held in by Damien. They chip it into the near side corner. McGilligan there. He elevates it back up the wall to Kerrigan. Kerrigan elevates it, but held in by Damien. Puck continues down into the corner and held in again by Damien. This time comes over to Klutchkov. Klutchkov sends it up to Stenari. Stenari's in all alone. Shot, save by Damien's goaltender. Comes up with a big pad save on the point-blank shot from Stenari. Damien on the exit. Toe drag, gets around Phillips, but he recovers. Nice stick lift there by Kerrigan. Kerrigan with it, looking for the outlet pass. And Stenari with the stick lift lets the puck continue on. No icing for some reason. And that's Gaucher in on the forecheck pressure with Bradford there looking for the loose puck. We got Baker, Bradford, and Gaucher out there. Baker steps in for the faceoff. He pulls it back for Bradford. Bradford with the drive. Loose puck. Gaucher looking for it. Loose puck steal in the faceoff dot. Baker tried to pull it in the wheelhouse, unable to get it cleanly. Bradford gets it out into the slot, just out of Gaucher's reach, into the neutral zone. McGilligan drives it there. Baker leaves it on the wall to Gaucher. He gets it up to Bradford. Bradford with the shot and a glove save. Nice puck movement on the entry. Ended up creating a nice scoring opportunity. Gaucher pushes it into the corner, elevated up the wall. Damien jumps on a loose puck. They're able to skate it up and out. They drive it into the Capo zone. Damien activates on the forecheck pressure into the corner. They move it up the wall to their D. He steps off the wall into the slot. Shot blocked nicely. And then Green with a nice shot block. Continues on down the wall into the corner. Loose puck in the slot area. Cleared out by Damien. Moved up the wall. Scott there with some pressure. Gaucher peels it off the wall. Tries to cut in the zone. Push right back into the neutral zone again. So a 2 and a 10 being levied. So Capo's going to get a second power play opportunity of the game. And they got Baker and Klutchkov and Stenari out there. Phillips and McGilligan on the back end. So that guy's done for 12 minutes. Klutchkov steps in for the face-off. He peels it back to Phillips, just out of Phillips' reach. Klutchkov with it. Stretch pass to Baker, moves it over to Stenari for the entry. Stenari holds up, moves it back to Coughlin, back down to Stenari. He has trouble with it, but continues on. Bouncing puck. Ends up on a Damien stick and cleared up and out. Phillips over to McGilligan. McGilligan cross-ice feed to Stenari. Stenari drives it up the wall to Baker. Baker down the wall into the corner. Centers it out front. Phillips holds it in. He pushes it back down the wall to Baker. Cross-ice feed. Hops over Stenari's stick. Back to McGilligan. Coyotes get things set up. Brett down on low. Shot. Rebound. And cleared up and out. Outside feed up to Klutchkov. Klutchkov on the entry. He cuts down, gets in behind the D, comes in and scores. Wow, Klutchkov makes a nice move around the D, split the D, came in and pulled it on the backhand and then elevated up over the shoulder for the 5th goal of the game. Coyotes take a 5-2 lead on the power play goal. Nice goal by Klutchkov. Pulls in with patience after undressing the D. Comes down and pulls it back. Bradford has it on the wall. He sends it in, redirected into the far side wall. Back to Bradford on the back wall looking for it. I'm sorry, that's Gaucher. Bradford tried to center it out front to Brunel. Brunel chops it down to Gaucher, and Gaucher was looking for the loose puck. Osola looking for the loose puck. Pratt comes in on the forecheck pressure. Damien's able to move it up the wall. Held in by Phillips. Phillips and Osola, and Pratt battling for it to hold the zone. Right here below us. Kerrigan in there with some stick work. Now it comes out. Pratt drives it over. Green drives it right back in. Osola reactivates on the forecheck pressure. Comes over, creates a turnover. Kerrigan pushes it into the corner. Loose puck. Osola with it. Tries to work it out into the slot. Knifed out of off his stick. Comes back down the wall. Back out to Brunel. Loose puck. Battle. Still loose puck. And it's a goal. Another goal. Loose puck bouncing around, and somehow somebody got a stick on it. And the Coyotes have opened up a 6-2 lead. .358 left in the second period. Baker cuts that off. Continues on into the corner. Looking for the loose puck. Battle along the wall. Gaucher or Bussell down there. Damien comes away with it. Damien drives it in the zone. Miguel get back to pick it up. He chips it over to Baker. Baker pushes it up the wall. Damien holds the zone. They push it back into the corner. Center attempt broken up. Bussell backhands it up the wall. Held in by Damien. Back to Coughlin. Coughlin circles away from pressure and up the wall. Miguel gets it up to Baker. Baker turns it over. Gives it over to Damien. Damien cross-ice feed. Comes back through the slot. Turns around. Sends it up to Sonari. Comes off of his stick. Sonari looking for the loose puck. Comes back to Baker. He turns it over. Another turnover. And Damien keeps the zone. They buzzing in the corner here. Miguel get battling for it. Comes off the wall. Baker got away with a chop there. They move it up the wall. Baker comes in. Absorbs a hit. Coughlin has it. He chips it up the wall to Stenari. Stenari chips it back into the zone. Activates on the forecheck pressure. McGilligan drives it cross-ice feed. And Capo is offside, so comes back. They peel back for the regroup. McGilligan drives up the wall out of Hamza's reach. So Damien picks it up at the red line. Zone entry. McGilligan drives that right back up. Hamza on the forecheck pressure's got it down the corner. He's got his brother in the slot. Shot, glove save. Klitschkoff back in there for the faceoff. Phillips and Scott. Klitschkoff peels it back. Gaucher tries to center to his brother in the slot. That's broken up by Damien. They move it up the near side wall. And comes off a skate, held in by Klitschkoff. Klitschkoff down the wall, into the slot again. Shot, score! Second goal of the game. Klitschkoff walks into the slot and finds the far post and in, 7-2. .154 left in the second period. Klitschkoff steps in for the faceoff. Damien wins that. Cross-ice feed. Sends it up to Gaucher. Gaucher down the wall. Chips it over, but no one trailing with them. No one streaking with them. Cleared out by Damien. Klitschkoff spins away from pressure at the red line. He drops it back to the D. Scott moves it over to Phillips. Phillips with the drive and a pad save. Big rebound into the high slot. Another drive wide of the net. And Gaucher comes down the wall, holds the zone. Has three Damien players to deal with. Damien's able to get it up and out. That's cut off there nicely by Scott. He continues on, but that's an offside entry. Scott steps in. He's got a solo with them. Damien peels it back. They move it up through the neutral zone. Battle through the neutral zone. Damien picks it up. Zone entry. They come off the wall. They still with it. Stay with it. Turnaround shot blocked. Sola picks up the loose puck. Comes off of his stick. Damien's still with it. Now it's deflected up and out into the neutral zone. Cross-ice feed for the re-entry. Damien's got a touch up. They do so. Pulls up. Shot. Deflected wide of the net. Comes off the back wall, and Zanke covers it up. And now he's going to the box for slashing. I think he's calling 2. Who's this coach? I don't know who that is. Never seen him. So 5-on-5 hockey. The even calls. 26 seconds left. So, do we have a power play? So it looks like the Coyotes ended up with the power play, actually. So they called 2 on them. So back on the Capo's power play. McElligott picks it up. He spins away, or Brett picks it up. He spins away, gets it up to McElligott. Cross-ice feed. Zone entry, Bradford. Bradford with it on the wall, drives it into the corner. Tries to get it back out. And that's it after this. After 2, Coyotes are up 7-2, and they start the third period with the power play. Ice cut coming up. Now's the time to handle all the responsibilities. Bathroom, drink refreshment, maybe a little quick nap. Oh, face off there. McGilly drives it over to Baker. He peels it back to Phillips. Phillips pulls back to get things set up. Coyotes on the breakout. Sonari with it on the wall. McGilligan on the wall, gets it to Phillips. Moves over to Baker. Baker gets to McGilligan. McGilligan goes down the wall, drops it back to Baker. Baker cross-ice feed to Phillips. Phillips around some pressure, back down to Baker. Actually McGilligan now. Sonari with it on the high circle. Shot deflected wide of the net. Baker chopped at it, and it moves up and out of the zone. Phillips there, drives it up the wall. Baker leaves it there for Stenari. Has Klutchkov. McGilligan comes in, shot, and a glove save. What's this guy all about? Gaucher with the push and pull. Osola comes in, peels the puck out. Phillips back down to Osola. Osola shot and a save. I think it hit Gaucher. Coughlin takes Phillips' spot. Gaucher with the push and pull out to Kerrigan. Gaucher tried to get it out to Kerrigan, and Kerrigan was swiping at the loose puck, and then Damien goaltender had to cover up. Gaucher steps in. Puck trickles out. It's over to Coughlin with the drive, wide of the net off the back wall, all the way back to McGilligan. He walks off the wall, down to Kerrigan. Osola with the short side attempt. And Damien's able to clear it up and out. McGilligan with it. Works through the center ice. Moves it up to Kerrigan. Kerrigan on the entry. Down the wall into the corner. Shot it wide of the net. Picked up by Coughlin. Penalty's going to be over. Moved over to McGilligan. Even strength. Penalty's over. McGilligan with the drive. Loose puck out into the slot. And Osola was looking for it, but then a cross check is being levied. To Damien. So Capo stays on the power play. So we got Klutchkov, Stenari, and Baker back out there. Puck's into the corner, driven up the wall, and out of the zone. Cross ice feed. Hits Phillips. Phillips activates, absorbs a slash on the wrist. Puck on the wall. Baker comes in, peels that up the wall. Cuts off the wall. Over to Stenari. Stenari with the drive. Loose puck. And redirected shot save. Nice puck movement. Klutchkov steps in. Got Pratt out there, or Scott out there. Pulls back to McGilligan. McGilligan pulls it over to Scott. Down to Stenari. Stenari with it on the half wall. Walks up off the blue line. Shot. Deflected. Loose puck. Cleared up. Held. Oh, nope. Hopped over Scott's stick. Moved over to McGilligan. He moves up the wall to Klutchkov. Klutchkov cuts off the wall. Moves it to Stenari. Stenari with it around into the slot. Over to Baker's stick in the corner. Baker moves it up to Scott. Scott back down to Stenari. Stenari down, shot, save. So we got Gaucher, Brunel, and Bradford out for the second part of this power play. Gaucher pushed it in the corner. Damien wraps it up the wall, held in, hopped over McGilligan's stick. He moves it over to Coughlin. Coughlin moves it up for the entry to Brunel. Brunel cross-ice feed to Bradford with a drive and a cover-up. Bussell chopping at it. Puck trickles into the slot and elevated up and out by Damien. Coughlin back to pick it up. 13:46 left in the game. 7-2 Coyotes. Coyotes on their fourth or fifth power play. Drop pass onto the wall to Brunel. Brunel down low. Shot redirected wide of the net. Picked up by Bradford. Moved back to Coughlin. Coughlin walks the blue line. Back down to Bradford on the half wall. Cross ice feed. Shot. Or it was a pass that deflected in on net and a pad save Cleared all the way up and out and all the way down. And that should just about do it. Penalties over. Cross-ice feed way out in front of Bussell. Brunel picks it up and activates into the corner. Gets some fresh troops out. Brunel continues on into the corner, leaves it there for Bradford. Gaucher looking for it. Damien comes away with it, and they elevate it up and out, and that's cut off by McGilligan at the red line. Sent back in, and then cleared out by Damien, picked up at the red line, and they drive it into the zone. Baker there with some, or Gaucher there with some pressure. McGilligan sends it up and out. That was a little bit of a turnover, and shot high over the net. Sent up the wall to Gaucher. Gaucher works down the wall, gets around two guys, continues on into the corner behind the net. Tries to pass it to himself off the back of the net. Driven up the wall. Green punches it back into the corner. Hamza loses an edge over there. McGilligan comes in with the check on the puck carrier. There is a loud checking in the game. And a shot and a cover-up. So you got Pratt, Baker, and Stenari out there. Puck stays on the face-off dot. Stenari looking for it, comes back to McGilligan. He punches it back down to the back wall. Damien looks to move it up the near side wall and out. Stenari hops over his stick. Comes back to McGilligan, cross-ice feed. Stenari chips it into the zone. He's going to get his own chip in, leaves it there. Baker circles back to the puck, has some open ice, cross-ice feed. Over to McGilligan. McGilligan's drive to the side of the net, loose puck, and Damien drives it up the wall and out. Phillips going to go back to get it, and icing is the result. Klutchkov gets tossed out for the late change. Osola steps in. He pushes it over to Klutchkov. Klutchkov has it on the half wall, drives it back to the D. Shot in on net, save, kick to the back wall. And Damien into the corner with it. Klutchkov comes back. Battle along the half wall, or the back wall. Damien comes off the half wall with it. Turnaround shot, glove save. Out there, shot, loose puck, back wall, high net. Brunel steps in, moved up the wall. Damien holds his own. Back to Green, Green over to Hunter. Hunter got hit with some pressure, and the puck was held in, but continues on to Bradford. Bradford's got Brunel, feeds it out, but in on net and redirected to the far side wall. And punched back in. Coyotes with the touch up. Brunel comes in with some pressure on the puck carrier. Cross-ice feed cut off by Damien. Zone entry. Two guys. Comes in, shot wide of the net. Somebody's stick's on the ground out here. Somebody lost a stick. Brunel's got it. He elevates it up and in. Almost sent Bradford in, but cut off by Damien. Damien on the entry. Shot wide of the net. Picked up by Coughlin. He pushes it over the near side wall. Damien there to hold the zone. They walk over, cross-ice feed. picked up in the corner. That stick's cleared all the way out of the zone. So I don't know whose stick that was, but Damien buzzing. They come down, back door. Coughlin there to break that up. Pressure in the corner. Damien with the shot blocked. And McGilligan elevates it up and out, and McGilligan's going to be in all alone. Comes in, shot, score! McGilligan gets in behind the D on the block shot and comes in and puts one in. And it's 8-2. So that was Hunter's stick. .936 left in the game. Solo looking for it. Puck in the corner. Center out front. Not in the wheelhouse. Continues on. Baker activates on the forecheck pressure with the stick. Coyotes hold the zone. Gets it out to Baker. High slot area. Tried to drop it. He continues on down the wall. He leaves it there for Osola. Osola peels it off. Comes back to Scott. Scott pushes it down the wall. In low. Baker ends up with it. Makes a move. Shot. And he gets yanked down. Nice move to try and get his stick in a shooting or position to take the shot. Gets yanked down. And somebody's supposed to be going to the box. Oh, I guess not. He had his hand up. Oh, there is. Yeah. So Coyotes again on the power play. Klutchkov with it. He's got 3 goals. Wraparound chance. Ends up over on Stenari. Stenari shot and a save. Klutchkov steps in. Pulls it back. Hunter has it in the corner. He gets knocked off of his skates. Driving up the wall. Scott's unable to hold his zone. As it bounces up and over his stick all the way down. Picked up by Phillips. Phillips gets things set up. He drives it up to Stenari. Stenari gets the speed going down the wall. Gets it out to Klutchkov. Klutchkov works back up the wall. Phillips comes down for some help. Cross-ice feed. Shot way wide of the net. Picked up by Stenari. Back out. Another shot. Deflected wide. Picked up by Klutchkov. Hunter's getting manhandled in front of the net. Back to Stenari. Up to Phillips. Over. Shot. Blocked. Pushed back into the corner. Klutchkov jumps on the loose puck. He works through the corner. Drives it back to Phillips. Phillips walks the blue line in the shooting lane. Shot and a save. .741 left in the game. Baker's going to step in for the faceoff. Scott Gaucher, or actually Gaucher is going to step in. He's got Pratt and Baker with him. Gaucher gets it back to Baker. Baker chops it out, and picked off of his stick. He tried to work into the slot area. All the way back. McElligot's going to pick it up. Spins away from pressure. Cross-ice feed. Drives it up to Gaucher. Gaucher tips it to Bradford. Comes back to McElligott. McElligott continues on. On the rush. Gets chopped off of his stick on the entry. Coughlin drives it in the zone. Bradford there to pick it up on the wall. Baker activates in the corner. Comes away with the puck. Tries to jump it out to Gaucher. Gaucher didn't realize it was in his feet. And Gaucher's going to get it called for the trip. So we got 6:55 left in the game. 4-on-4 hockey. Puck comes back to Klutchkov. Held the zone. Damien moves it over to the top circle. Shot. Pad save. Loose puck. Cleared out of the slot. Shot redirected wide of the net. Damien's got it on the back wall. Cross ice feed. Top circle. Shot. Through traffic. Deflected wide. Right back out into the slot area. That's pushed out. Five's got it. He drives it up the wall. Damien holds his own as they are on a power play now. Cross ice feed. Top circle. Deflected by Pratt nicely. Gets his stick in the passing lane. Damien back down to the half wall. They move it over. McElligot's going to be able to skate into it and drive it up and out of the zone. Coyotes get some fresh penalty killers. Damien trying to catch them on a power line change. Phillips back in the corner. He spins away from pressure and drives it up and out of the zone. 5:49 left in the game. Kerrigan in on the forecheck pressure. An entry's broken up. Coyotes clear the zone. Damien with the regroup. They have the red line. Cross ice feed, looking for the entry. They drive it in. Scott's back there to pick it up. He wraps it around near side wall here. Pinched off by a Damien player. Held in. They drop it back to the D, punch it back into the corner. Turned around, cleared out. Penalty's over. 5-on-5. Shot, glove save. Phillips elevates it up and out. Bradford drives it up to Phillips. Phillips on the entry. He's got Brunel with him. Shot. Pad save. Kicked into the corner. Phillips continues on. Comes off. Hamza's got it. He tries to send it out into the slot area, and that's covered up. Gaucher with the push and pull, backhand shot, save. Have Brunel on the back door. Gaucher tried that again, held in. Phillips holds the blue line, backhands it into the corner. Hamza drives it down low. Puck continues on over to the far side. Gaucher drives it in. Tried to work around. Oh, nice shot and save. Brunel gets pulled out. So we got Culver, Stenari, and Baker out there. 4:16 left in the game. Coyotes up 8-2. Late changes being done. Pushed into the corner. Baker with some pressure. Moves up the wall. Back into the corner. Culver with it. He spins away from pressure. Baker's got it. He works up the wall. Pushes it all the way back to Green. Green with the shot. Deflected wide. Stenari jumps on a loose puck. He cuts off the wall. High slot. Green. Shot. Doesn't make its way in. It's cleared up and out. And all the way in. It's going to be no icing as it was touched at the red line. Phillips down there with some pressure. Drives it up to Culver. Culver chips it off the wall to Stenari. Stenari's got Baker with him on the side. Drives it over. Baker tried to give it right back to Stenari. That's cut off by Damien. Scott drives it right back in the zone. Baker activates on the forecheck pressure. Works around the pressure. Back to Coughlin, back down to Baker. Baker chips it off the wall to Stenari, just out of his reach. Sent back up and cleared out. Scott drives it right back in. Coyotes got to touch up. They do so. Nice work by Stenari. Stenari drop pass to Bradford. Bradford cuts around one guy. Shot deflected off a stick and into the netting. 3 minutes left. Just a matter of the clock to finish ticking off. Coyotes are going to be going to the Nationals for the Division II out of California. Congratulations to them. McCarr, Klutchkov with 3 goals already, looking for a 4th. Works into the corner. Cross-ice feed to Green. Green drives it right back down, just out of Asola's reach off the back wall. Bradford activates on the back wall, comes back to Klutchkov. He drives it wide of the net, comes all the way back to the D. Back to Klutchkov's stick. He sends it in just off of Bradford's stick, just wide of the net. Comes back. Green drives it back in. Damien gloves it down to a stick and goes cross ice and up and out of the zone. It's chopped off of his stick. Back up to Asola. Asola's going to be in all alone. Oh, no. One guy is back there. Asola with the drive and a save. I thought Asola was going to be in all alone. .2:14 left. Bussell steps in with Kerrigan and Hunter. Damien skates away with it on the exit. Tried to cut through the D. They continue on. Damien with it through the neutral zone on the entry. That's broken up. They're offside, so they got to touch up. They backhand it in the zone. Scott there, punches it up the wall. Hunter drives it up the wall, but not out. Damien holds his own, walks off the wall, shot. Doesn't make its way in. Coughlin skates into open ice, clears it up and out. That's broken up. Damien with the shot and the save, up over the net, off the back wall. Damien buzzing, trying to get one here late. Another shot, rebound, picked up and cleared up and out. Damien's got it in the neutral zone and the red line for the re-entry. Maintain that offensive zone pressure. Coughlin peels back. 1:12 left in the game. Puck held in by Damien, pushed into the near side corner. Their spin out of the corner. Broken up here. Puck comes back. Shot, or deflected into the near side corner. Centering attempt. Gets through. Cleared out of harm's way, but held in the zone. Another shot. Doesn't make its way in. Another shot. Side of the net. Battling in the corner. Centering attempt comes all the way out, but not out. Shot deflected into the near side corner. Pushed up the wall. Held in by Damien. And Damien going to the box. So Coyotes will finish the game on a power play. 28 seconds left. I didn't realize it cut off. I don't know where it cut off, but we're finishing up the game here. Coyotes on a power play. It's 8-2. There's 21 seconds left on the game clock. Again, just getting just restarted the broadcast. Didn't know where it cut off at, but we are only 21 seconds left in the game. Coyotes on the power play. 8-2 lead. Phillips with the blast. Rebound. Cleared out. Scott sends it down low and up and out. And that should just about do it. 9 seconds left. Phillips with it. Spins into the corner. Holds on to it, and that's it. So Coyotes are moving on to the Nationals as the Division II California State champions.
Players who are calling your names, they have to be official here. They get your medal, and it's going to have to go on once the program for blowing the traditional handshake. And first, I'd like to congratulate our California State finalists, Damien Spartans. I know this has been a crazy year. It's not the season we hoped for. We're just happy to try to put this together at the end, at least some of our California teams in all divisions will be able to advance and compete with USA Hockey Nationals. Number 7, Carter Anastasia. Number 14, Jonathan Anderson. Number 86, Anthony Marias. Number 10, Jaden Bunch. Number 95, Mario Chapman. Number 21, Tyler Clark. Number 32, Travis DeMont. Number 33, Blake Gadsby. Number 20, Andrew Garcia. Number 70, Louis Garcia. Number 13, Matthias Godfrey. Number 3, James Guarino. Number 89, Everett Ingram. Number 23, Andrew Scott. Number 5, Vance Rupert. Number 77, Bo Sloan. Number 42, Julian Violet. Number 71, Jacob Wilson. And number 12, Noah Wilson. And 2 players. Number 97, came in on the first name was scratched out, Suga Gufu. And number 8, Colin McDonald. And we have the Damien Spartans coaching staff, head coach Chris Fisher, assistant coach Mike Lincoln. And if we can have the Damien captains come up for the team finalist trophy. Ladies and gentlemen, California Division 2A state finalists. Damien
What?
Spartans.
Okay. Did you get my text? Okay. Okay, thanks.
And now introducing your California State Division 2A state champions. Capo Coyotes going on to represent California CAHA in Omaha, Nebraska, April 15 through 19 at state national championships. Number 68, Luke Baker. Number 89, Caden Bradford. Number 9, Nick Fennell. Number 67, Alex Purcell. Number 66, Sean Kaufman. Number 4, Jeff Cover. Number 30, Matt Garia. Number 97, Amin Moshe. Number 51, Hamza Moshe. Number 2, Nathan Green. Number 3, Matt Hunter. Number 52, Liam Kerrigan. Number 81, Mark Markov. Number 21, Quentin McElliott. Number 10, Luke Masola. Number 60, Brett Phillips. Number 5, Joe Pratt. Number 7, Shane Scott. Number 86, Carol Spinari. And number 50, Vincent Zaki. Snap it down. There we go, boys. Snap. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, California Division 2A state champions, Capo Coyotes. Turn around, boys. Show your parents.
They were here. Yeah.
All right, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you back at home.